Okay, now that actually felt like a penultimate episode because Jesus, my God, wasn't expecting that from these last two episodes for how the seasons have been. I wasn't thinking like, oh man, Finn's actually intense right now. I mean, they had to, man, because if Finn's didn't feel intense by the end, they've basically failed, man. For a final season, to me, to a lot of a degree, they've kind of failed. But if they can at least get the last two episodes, like the penultimate episode and the final episode, actually feel intense and there's actually weight, then they've at least achieved that, I guess. Because for the most part, this season's been disappointing. Yeah, I have to say it, but if it can at least have a good ending, then I guess that's all that matters in the end. Because this is my favorite show of all time, and if it at least gets a good ending and not a bad ending like how Dexter has twice, then or a mediocre ending like which I was thinking like, is it gonna go in that direction? From the penultimate episode, at least there's hope that it can actually have a good ending, not just like a decent ending, like a good ending, but also I doubt it's gonna go in the direction that they're making us think it's gonna go in, but I think things will work out, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that certain character will die, which I'll get to, because obviously I'm going to talk about spoilers. So first, we're going to start with how things are just falling apart in the Commonwealth. Things are basically a mess. Pamela, it seems like she's losing control at this point. It seems like she has the advantage, but she actually doesn't, and she has no clue about those special walkers that can climb over things and stuff, like throw stuff. Like, man, if we see a gun in the final episode, like a walker with a gun, like I'm just gonna be like, damn, I've been waiting for this. Lol, imagine, that'd be so funny. But yeah, yeah, because Pamela's starting to realize that Mercer's betraying her, because Mercer basically hides Eugene, so he doesn't get like a death penalty or whatever was gonna happen with him. Because obviously he was going to get executed, because that's what Pamela wants, because she blames Eugene for her son's death, Sebastian's death. Yeah. And she's willing to do anything just to keep control, even though the people, they didn't really agree with her finding Eugene guilty, because it seems like, I guess, majority of the people actually found him not guilty. But since she blames Eugene for her son's death, she's just gonna say guilty. So it was basically rigged. But then you didn't really win the favor of your people because they didn't agree with that decision. So yeah. So this kind of new world order is actually a whole lie, with Pamela keeping people prisoners, which I guess the other people's plan, like the princess, Ezekiel, Negan, they're making sure they can get the prisoners back as evidence to show what Pamela's been doing, so she'll lose her control of the Commonwealth. But then at the same time, there's also these walkers that Aaron's dealing with, which, oh my god, things go out of hand there, because basically they end up getting separated, because they're trying to get away from the Commonwealth soldiers who are trying to, steer the walkers away. But they're not realizing how special these walkers actually are, because if they get close, they can literally climb on the vehicle and everything, like climb over the walls. They don't realize what they can actually do. And when they find out, it's already too late. They get wiped out. But as for Aaron and Lydia, oh my god, things go really bad for them when they're trying to get away. Like when they go into like this RV. Is it Elijah? I finally said his name for the first time. The guy who was with Maggie, who wear that mask and was really good with those swords. He kind of gets separated from Lydia because she's trying to bring him into the RV, but then a walker gets close and actually bites Lydia, and I was like, oh my god, something finally happened with a character that I care about. Oh my god. But luckily Aaron's there, and he's kind of been through something like that before, so he actually has someone. So Lydia actually has someone there who's been through that experience, because Aaron lost his arm as well, so she's able to help Lydia get through it, even though she's just thinking about Elijah, man, because he's still out there. Like, he got separated, and one of Magnus' people, like he was with someone, but then they also get separated. So basically, both of those characters, we have no idea if they're alive. Well, I think we see the girl again, but I'm not sure. But as for Elijah, I have no idea if he's still alive. But the music guy, wait, did they show? Because he didn't get in, so Jerry basically went to go find them, like if he can. Hopefully they're not dead, even though the way how things end. Oh my god, I can definitely do a death prediction. That's all I'm gonna say with what happens with our characters. Like, it seems like anyone can die at this point, but since because of certain spin-off shows, we kind of know at least a few that are gonna survive, but others I'm not really sure. Like I hope Jerry survives because that's definitely not confirmed because Jerry has to go out and look for him. So let's hopefully he doesn't get bit or anything. Yeah, hopefully he makes out okay. But yeah, basically, the Commonwealth are just falling apart, man. Mercer, he kind of gets found out by someone who's loyal with Pamela, while the others who are not loyal with Pamela and actually loyal to Mercer, they're trying to hide it for him. So when it gets to the point where he gets arrested, like people are still willing to back him up, but Mercer doesn't want anyone to get hurt, so he tells them to stand down while also warning everyone that these walkers are going to be able to get through. You may think that the walls are going to hold together, but they're not, man. And they're not really listening. So, well, the one who's arresting him is not really listening. And then when it actually happens, that's when she tells Pamela what's happening, like the climbing over and stuff. Like that guy on the tower, he just gets devoured while telling them what's happening. Like they probably don't even believe him until it actually happens when they get through. And then Pamela, like she sees that the ones who are the prisoners, they're basically able to get inside the Commonwealth, and then like a huge gunfight, happens. And I think it was a huge mistake, which we're gonna talk about now. Yeah, it was a huge mistake to bring Judith with them. I know they view her as like a warrior, and it's just to me that was dumb. Like she should have stayed with RJ. Also, the way how she's basically passing her mantle to RJ as well. Like, my God, are you saying that you're gonna kill off Judith? Like, no, I don't want to see that, man. I wanted to make it, man. I wanted to see her father again. If they kill off Judith, it's a huge mistake, man. I don't want to see that. I wanted to see her father, man. Like, if they go in that direction, I won't be happy. That's not a good way to end it for me. It's like for some fans, like killing off Maddie in The 100. When she goes paralyzed and stuff, and then Clark has to make a hard decision, but to some degree, like she gets a happy ending, Maddie, but still, man, she'll never see her again. As for Judith, I just don't want her to die, man. She needs to be able to see her father again, and I really hope that happens, man. Because if she dies in the last episode, it would be so sad. Probably more sad than Carl, because Carl, like I never thought that I'd actually feel for Carl dying, but I actually did. So yeah, Judith, a character who's supposed to be the one to carry on the legacy. Not just the father, but Judith. Like, man, it'd be a huge loss, man. Yeah, RJ, he could also carry it on, but still, man. I want Judith to live, man. Both RJ and Judith. It would just be suck if she dies, man. Yeah. Because basically, Pamela is basically seeing that they're getting close to actually making it to, her quarters. So Pamela basically sees her soldiers die. She picks up a gun. I think she meant to shoot Maggie, but she shoots Judith instead, and she's kind of, messed up by it because she didn't want to shoot a kid because she's had a kid, so she knows how it feels if someone loses a kid. Yeah, because if you're being a parent, you can understand how other people would actually feel. And I feel like Negan's getting to that point where he's realizing what he took away from Maggie. When he sees Herschel and Maggie together. Like, he just feels all the bad stuff is done. And when he's talking to, like, Ezekiel, he's basically saying that he knows he's not better than his people. And he's trying to make you realise that the whole time. Because he's not trying to prove himself to people or just save his own ass. He's just trying to basically do the right thing at this point for the ones who he's warned. Yeah. And hopefully he can leave a good legacy behind, because the things he's done so far, after he stopped being the Negan that we know when he came into the show in season 7, he has done a lot of good things. He helps defeat the Whisperers. Like, he's helping right now with the flipping Commonwealth. So yeah, hopefully he can get some kind of good ending. But yeah, basically it gets to a point where the characters are trying to escape because Judith's been shot. They need to get to like safety. But then basically you're seeing like the Commonwealth surrounding them, kind of like how Simon did in season 7 or 6, sorry, the end of season 6. But actually they're kind of also dealing with like other threat, so they're basically going to bring the walkers to our survivors, which is just so messed up, man. Oh my god, so messed up. So then basically all our characters have to like defend Judith and Daryl, because Daryl's like holding her because he doesn't want her to die, man. Like he wouldn't be able to live with himself. He basically would have failed Michonne and Wick if Judith died. So, you know, he's just trying to get her to safety while everyone else is like fighting off the walkers. But there's like so many, and these are like special walkers as well that can climb stuff and pick up things. So, man. And everyone's just getting surrounded by the walkers. Judith is basically kind of waking up and seeing what's happening. Like, man. And then she basically says to Daryl, Daddy. And I'm just like, oh man, what the hell? I know we're going to see Carl in the final episode because Chandler Wicks basically confirmed that he's going to be in the last episode. And if it didn't happen, I'd be shocked. I just wonder if we're going to see more than just Carl though. Like, we need to see Wick at least. Hell, I want to see Wick, like, if they actually do it like how they did it in the comics. I want to see you know, the timeline afterwards. It just sucks that it's probably going to be the exact same as the comic. Like, we're not going to get to see like several episodes where they're actually in the future. It's just going to be like very brief, like what's happened like many years later. Yeah, that kind of thing. I mean, it would be cool, and seeing Judith older too, like how Carl was. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. It's just I wanted to see, I don't know. I want to see like a full story though, or I don't know. Hell, World Beyond, if it didn't get cancelled or they didn't want to only do 2 seasons and it was actually good. I heard the second season was better, but I'm talking about if it was actually good the whole way through and it had another season to maybe spill over from The Walking Dead's ending into like World Beyond season 3, where it shows the aftermath of The Walking Dead in its time skip, 10-year time skip, of how they've left things off in the original show. I would have liked to see that, but I just know we're not going to get something like that. Even in this Wickham Michonne show, I just think they're just going to show how, you know, how they're going to resolve things with Wick being missing all this time and Michonne finding him and hopefully getting back to his family. And hopefully Judith isn't dead as well, man. Because that would suck if Judith dies. Yeah. All I can say is, I hope things work out. I hope Judith lives. And some of the other characters who are kind of in danger right now, like Joey, Elijah, which I guess I care about him at the end. Because he kind of had like a thing with Lydia. And it seemed nice, even though we all wanted Carl and Lydia to be together. But, you know, with what Scott Gimple did in season 8, not much you can do about that. Yeah. And at least I would have been fine with Ben. At this point I would have accepted it. I mean, I would have been fine with it if Ben never died. Yeah. And he actually was with Lydia. You would have got to see his character grow. Like, I wonder how he would have turned out up until this final point. Yeah. It just sucks we never got to see even Ben take over as the new Carl and actually develop and stuff, which sucks. Yeah. But yeah, all I can hope is that we get a good ending. I was going to say really good. It's not going to be perfect. I can't see it being perfect. I'd be shocked if it's perfect, but a good ending. Better than, you know, the 100 at least, because that wasn't a bad ending. It was just average. And there was only one character who got like a perfect ending in that final season, because some of the other characters, they failed. Some of them was just like a ending. But there was only one character, obviously I'm talking about Octavia, who had like a perfect ending, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I can say. I guess I'll do a death predictions on Wednesday on who's going to survive because of how they ended it. With all the characters getting surrounded by the walkers, you know, Judith's situation. Lydia, I mean, they chopped off her hand, so she's probably going to be okay anyway. Yeah. But I'll just do a death prediction for all the characters, I guess, who are in the show and still alive at this point. But yeah. Guess I'll end the review here. I guess I'll see you next week for the final episode. Oh my god. I'm thinking if I should do a stream. I might share it on my main channel and then, you know, do it here, since this is where I've been doing all my reviews. But yeah, and I need to make sure that I have all the reviews for the older seasons done as well. So yeah, maybe by the time I upload this, maybe I will, or just have like 1 or 2 reviews left to do of the older seasons. Yep. But I'll see you in the next one, guys. Appreciate if you can leave a like, and peace.